Happy Thursday, Stampers and Paper Crafters. This is Facebook Live number 484. It's Thursday, April 30th, 2026. My name is Joy Borwedge, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I live in Burnsville, Minnesota, and I have been a demonstrator since August of 1999. I have a super cool card for you tonight, and I cannot wait to share it. And I'm going to put you down at the table in just a second. If you get motion sickness or anything like that, look away, and I'll let you know when I am done messing around with the camera. So hold on. As I said, it is Thursday, so hopefully you have had a great week so far. Friday is May 1st. I cannot believe that. All right, here we go. We're flipping down. May 1st, and the new catalog is going to start next week. I can't believe it. Oh my goodness, it's like so quick. Where did that time go? I mean, we are like tomorrow, the 5th month of this year so far. Just felt like I had my Christmas tree up just a couple months ago. You know what I mean? I took it down in January, you know, the beginning of January sometime, like the first weekend or the second weekend, I can't remember. But I mean, seriously. Okay, let's put some light on the subject. Okay, so again, my name is Joy Borwedge. I have an Instagram page at Stampin' for Joy. My YouTube page is Joy A. Borwedge. I have an online store at stampinforjoy.stampinup.net. And that is open 24/7. I have my email address, which is penguinsz33@outlook.com. And I think, all right, now I'm done messing with the camera. It looked crooked to me. And then I have a Facebook page at Stampin' for Joy. So what happens here is, let's see, I guess I'm going to go a little bit more. There we go. I should get a little closer so you can see better. Okay, so what happens here is this Facebook Live is happening on my Joy Borwedge page. And then I take pictures of tonight's project and I put it on my Instagram page, also on Pinterest. And then I download the video onto my YouTube page as well as my other Stampin' for Joy page. So you can kind of see things and look at things. If you see something on Pinterest and it says hashtag 200 or something, that ain't gonna, there's not gonna be a video that supports that. Back last year, Facebook decided to start deleting Facebook Lives after 30 days. So I think I have 300 into the 300s. So like today is 484 Facebook Lives. So I think I got 300 and something downloaded onto my YouTube page. So you can always go back and see, you know, a technique. But I'm super excited. All right, let's get going and share with you what's going on in the Stampin' Up! World. Like I said, this is the annual catalog and this is the spring catalog. These guys, you can order through May 4th. Okay, so if you want something out of these catalogs at the current price, go for it. Get it while you can. Then these catalogs will no longer be available to order from, and we will have the new catalog from Stampin' Up! And then we will also have the May online exclusives. So those will be the two places come May 5th to place your orders from. So that's only two places. So that's really cool. Now, Stampin' Up! Is no longer going to carry an annual catalog. We're going to have 3 catalogs like this one a year. And that way, Stampin' Up! Can intermingle the core products with the holiday season that is frequenting that part of the year. So it's going to go, each catalog is going to have 4 months. So this is going to go through May, June, July, and August. Yep. And so then we'll have a new catalog coming out at the end of the year, and that will feature products for the upcoming fall season, at Christmas and Halloween and Thanksgiving. And I love fall. Fall is I think fall is my favorite season. Spring is like one notch below. I love the color of the trees and stuff. Kimberly, hi, welcome. All right, so May 5th, you can order products out of here. Then, starting in May, so first of all, this is, let's see here. I have my papers out of order. So today and tomorrow is April, obviously. Fall is your favorite. The colors, I have to say I love the fall colors, but spring brings beauty and birds kind of back, so it's like one notch lower, like a millimeter. So when you place an order and it's $75 or more, you will get a banner that says, would you like to purchase for only $5 the product of the month? So April happens to have the Eyelet Bloom die, and it's actually really cool. I don't have it, but you will get craft sweet lace-like layers in seconds by using this die. And so it's only $5. And then I have what May is going to bring, and that happens to be tomorrow, which is the 1st. I don't know why I said today and tomorrow. We will have other months' product of the month available until they sell out in the online store. So May 1st, which is Friday, tomorrow, Berry Botanical Vellum. And that is going to be the product of the month. So you get this exclusive product for only $5 when you have an order of $75 or more. Now, if you want this one, say May 1st, and then you realized that you didn't get the stamp set from a previous month, you would have to place another $75 order as long as you did not get that stamp set before. You are only allowed one kind of product of the month. So you cannot get 2 Berry Botanical Vellums, no matter how many orders you place. So just to give you a heads up on that. And then something new is coming. So do you love paper crafting? Well, if you sign up to be a demonstrator between May 5th and May 31st, you will get these ink pads. There's one more, but we're using it today. We're getting that for free. Okay, so when you join, so there's Golden Glow. We're going to use that one. They actually, as you can see, they're magnetic. And so they stack really well. Okay, and you just take the lid off, and it basically sleeps upside down so that the ink pad, the part that you stamp on, is facing downward when you're not using it, so that the ink stays at the top when you flip it over. And again, this part, you can click it, and it just flips over and it's really tight. So if you join to be a demonstrator between May 5th and May 31st, in your kit, you will receive these in colors for free. And these are the new on-trend colors, and they're not only fresh and fun, but they come, like I said, in the new magnetic case. Now, if you decide that it says down here, don't need the ink pads, you can choose additional $35 worth of products instead of these if you don't want them. Hi, Karen. I see you. And the benefit about being a demonstrator, I should say one, is that you get to order your products 1 month ahead of time before the public. And, you know, when you got over 50,000 demonstrators, not everybody wants to pre-order, and that's worldwide, I think. I don't remember what the number is from convention, so I'm just kind of over 50,000. Okay, so when you got a lot of those in different countries, so then in the U.S., you got a lot of demonstrators that want to pre-order. And there might be not a shortage if Stampin' Up! Didn't guess how many wanted that particular product. But you know what? That could be part of the reason why, things don't necessarily are ready. It's our fault. But they're so cool. So that's one of the reasons why to become a demonstrator. And you get up to 25% off. A lot of people just get it for their discount. I've been around for a while, so I get 25%. Most people get 20% off. So that is like another reason to be a demonstrator. I'm just going to take a drink of water. And so what happens is you get a kit. Okay, and you only pay $99 for that kit. Then you pick out $125 worth of product. No shipping. Like, how cool is that? And then you'll get, these ink pads, like, for free. I had to pay for them. So that's a great signing up deal. And like I said, you get 5. Golden Glow is not in here because I am using it tonight. But just wanted to give you a heads up. And if you have any questions, you can always contact me at Penguin Z. Hi, Tina. PenguinZ33@outlook.com. And you can always ask a question. Now, coming up, May 2nd, it is 24-hour only. So this happens to be Saturday, this coming Saturday. Today's Thursday. So for 24 hours on May 2nd, they're having a flash sale on select memory keeping products. And you'll find that out when you go into the in my online store, and you'll see like a little tab that'll say flash sale. And then you click on that, and then it will list all the products that are on sale for that day, 20% off. So because Saturday is National Scrapbooking Day. So just wanted to give you a heads up. If you like, and you know what? Not everything for scrapbooking is just for scrapbooking. You can also make cards, home decor. So, I mean, like 20% off is a really good deal. Okay, and I think that is, oh yeah, don't forget, check out the last chance list. remember when I, in the beginning, when I had said that the annual catalog and the mini catalog are going away, right? So May 4th is the end date to order anything out of here. A lot of the products from here, no, Karen, that won't be available yet because it's a flash sale. You'll have to log on Saturday and then check that out. But while supplies last for the last chance products, a lot of the products that are not moving over, okay, are put on the last chance list. And they have discounts. Now, a lot of the times when you see, say, a stamp set in the last chance list and a die set, check out the edition, okay? When you buy a stamp set and a stamp set and a die set that coordinate as a bundle, you save 10%. But a lot of the times when you go to the last chance list, you can save more money by buying them separately. So check the math out to see which ones gives you a better deal. Alrighty, guys, I think that is it. So tonight's card, we are going to be using something from the new catalog that starts May 5th. And this happens to be, and I can't show you the catalog inside yet. I can only show that to you May 5th, once it starts. So I am going to feature Moonlit Flora. And this happens to be a sweet collection that is truly amazing. So it comes with a bundle. And then this here is Fern and Flora 3D embossing folder. And nope, that doesn't work. What is here? Let me grab my silicone craft sheet. And then you could see that design that is, I'm not using that tonight. But it's the only thing out of the suite that I'm not using. But it's super cool. And then we have the Dewdrops embellishments. So we have Clear, Old Olive, and Secret Sea. And the colors that coordinate with this are Basic Black, Berry Burst, Golden Glow, so that's a new in color. And then we have Mossy Meadow, Old Olive, Peaceful Pine, that's a new in color. Pecan Pie, Secret Sea, and then we have Soft Seafoam. So this color palette is just stunning, and I love this paper. So you get 12 by 12 sheets, and you get 2 of each sheet. So it depends on what side you want to use. You have the A side, and then you have non-greenery. Well, I guess that's greenery. But you have different backgrounds that you can use. So we're going to be using quite a bit of that tonight in our card. And so again, this is the Moonlit Flora Sweet Collection. And this is also one of the, let's see, I should say sweet collections that I will be featuring at the in-person event. And that is July 18th. Registration is open. And it's thestampinevent.com. Now, I'm going to do a flyby of the card that we're going to be making at this event. Now, this card that you're going to be making is a fun fold, but I'm not going to show you what the fun fold looks like. So here it goes. There is the flyby, I should say. And that's going to be the card that you'll get to make at the Stampin'Event.com. Now, the virtual event is going to be Saturday, July 25th. I don't know if the link is open yet for that. It's the virtual Stampin'Event.com. You could try checking that out and see if that's available. But register now, so then that way we can prep and make sure we have enough for everybody. All right, let's get going. And I am going to bring out all the pieces that we're using. Now, I saw this card online by another demonstrator. Her name is, I wrote it down. Where is that? Let's see here. Heidi Collins. And I watched her put this card together, and when I saw the example that she did, I decided that I had to do it. Now, I changed it up quite a bit. So this is soft sea foam. It is 5 1/4 by 4. Then a piece of peaceful pine. It is 1/2 by 3 1/2. Another peaceful pine. It is 1 inch by 2 1/2. I have 2 small scraps of basic white. Can you see that? I'm just going to try to put that in view. There we go. Another piece of basic white, which is 4 3/4 by 1 3/4. And then we have a piece of basic white, which is 4 1/4 by 2 3/4. And then we have our card base, which is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. And I scored it at 4 1/4. So that is our card. Now I have some scrap pieces. I have a bunch cut up. These are 1/2 inch wide by 2 3/4 long. And then I have 1/4 inch wide by 2 3/4 long. Now, I did cut these specifically because I wanted to make sure that a couple of them are directional. So I wanted to make sure that they were going the way I wanted them to. And this is 3/4 wide by 2 3/4 long. Okay, so so I'm just going to let that sit there for a few seconds. I'm going to grab some more water. All right. So, Kimberly, do you have a catalog that you can, a new catalog that you can order from? Okay. So this card, you're going to want to make sure that you have the foam adhesive strips. And these are in the annual catalog, and they'll be in the new catalog. Let's see, what page will that be? Let's see here. Adhesives. So what I did with my catalog is I put tabs in here so I can find things. Now, like I said, I can't show you the inside. Okay, yep, they are in here, and they are on page 73. So that you can certainly get in the new catalog, but they are in the annual catalog right now. So they're when you go in the online store and place an order, just type in, I like to type in foam adhesive, and then it would pop up in the search bar. I use that search bar a lot. Okay, so let's take all this off. Now, this sheet right here, we're going to do the technique on it. And then we're going to cut it down, because I actually want to have a little bit more showing on my base, my card base, but that is okay. So you're going to need a craft sheet, and so I have my craft sheet, and then we're going to do some die cutting. So I'm going to put those over there. And let's see. I want to stamp this one. And this is going to be our inside panel. So let's stamp those. And I'm going to put these right here. So then when I use them, it'll be easier for me to grab. Okay, so I'm going to put the different types of flowers, or the ferns, in their spot. I don't know why I have so many of this one. Okay, and why do I only have 4? I'm missing a kind. Where'd the other? Oh, I know why. It's because 1, 1. So we have 4 kinds. It's the back side. I'm also using the back side of these. So I want to make sure that I have, oops, that one is the wrong side. See how, like, this one here, it depends on, and this one here, they're directional. So I want to make sure that I have the direction the right way. So these are the ones that I'm using, and these are the flowers. Okay, so there we go. That's why I had so many of one. I'm like, I don't remember having that many of that particular one. All right. So we're going to do some stamping, and then we're going to come back in, and I'm going to show you that technique. Okay, so let's see here. We're going to use Secret C right here. And now let me show you how I like to put this on a block. I already had it on a block, but I like to take my silicone craft sheet, and because this has a center, okay, cut out of it, I put the part that's going to go into the ink face down, okay? And then I just allow that to sit for a second, and then I grab it with my block. I don't, and when you take it off your block, you want to take it off gently. You don't want to yank it off, but you don't want to put it on like this, because you can squish it and manipulate it, okay? So just let it sit and then go down. All right, so that's, and then we're going to go tap, tap, tap into our Secret C, and then we're going to go over here, and we're going to cut that out. We're going to die cut that. Now, I am going to wait until I get done die cutting with that, just in case I make a mistake and I need to get another one. I don't need to stamp my sentiment in there yet. And seeing as how there's a lot of space there, I'm going to cut this off. So then that way, this doesn't go through the die machine and doesn't get any additional, what do you say, when you have very loved, well-used cutting plates, they can kind of make little indentations, and you don't want to have that. Okay, so then we're going to stamp. So we're going to set that off aside, and we're going to die cut it. So I'm going to put that over there, and then we're going to take, crap, I shouldn't have done that. All right, let's put these here, and then and that. Okay, so we're going to take Secret C and the large stamp out of there. Now this is block E, E as in elephant, so that fits that perfectly. And we're just going to go tap, tap, and we're going to go tone on tone. So we're going to start right here and press down. Okay, so that's inside. And then we're going to do the same thing, but kind of from the fold. All right, so we have tone on tone, so that gives it some nice texture. All right, and then we're going to close that up. And we're going to grab the Golden Glow, and that is going to go, these are squiggles, lines, okay? And so this is the inside of our card. So we're just going to go tap, tap. And in 2027, all ink pads will be like this, the magnetic, and they're going to do a color refresh. I have no idea what colors will be going away and what colors are coming back. They like to bring back some very well-loved ink colors, and then sometimes they introduce totally new colors. So I have no clue. Stampin' Up! Is just being a little tight-lipped about that, but they're letting us know that they're going to change it. All right, then we're going to stamp the inside greeting in Berry Burst. Oops. And that's going to say, "You make the world a better place." Tap, tap. There is not a lot of see how the ink is on the background there? There's not a lot of definition between the photopolymer, I don't know, base and the words. So I wasn't squishing. I was tap, tap, tapping. So because it's foam, okay, we'll get more of that ink on the background. But once we go with the felt, hi, Judy, welcome. Okay, so then we have the Berry Burst, and let's see. Now I'm going to clean that off because Berry Burst is a color that does like to stain. Squeak, squeak. All right. And, I mean, it doesn't stain too much. You could see it's kind of pink, but you could still see through it, so that's good. All right, so that one's done. And let's see here. We're going to clean off the greeting, or the outline that we did. Okay, so then now, we're going to, this is the new Basic Black Hybrid stamp. And this is going to take place of the Memento and the Stays On. And it is, a lot of people don't like it. I actually am liking it. I like to have, I don't really care for Stays On. And it's just the way it is, right? And so Stampin' Up! Is getting rid of Memento and Stays On. And so I want to make friends with this. So I'm going to allow that to sit, okay? I just push down, lift it up so it doesn't smear. And this will stain your blocks. I don't care. Berry Burst changed that color. No biggie. Berry Burst changed that. So what's the difference with black? It doesn't, doesn't transfer the color over, okay? And then we're gonna stamp, the little guy. Just tap, 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 no squishing. And so we're just gonna stamp that. Oops, I don't like that one. Much better. But seeing as how I made a boo-boo on the front, and once we start using the blends, that's going to show through. So let me just grab a new one. Okay. And so we're going to color that, and we're going to let that dry. And then we're going to clean that off once we're done with the other one. And the other one is going to be a different one. And we're going to color that in as well. So we're done with the new black. And like I said, I don't mind it. It is kind of hard to open, but the more you open it, the easier it's become for me. It does have to be flipped upside down, kind of like your Versamark, your Memento pad, your Stays On pad, which is no different. But for me, it's a little harder to open. So what I've done is, this is the left side, and there's a little notch there on my left side, and I don't know if that notch is there for a reason, but it's probably there for, when they made it. But I just squeeze that in and lift at the same time, like that. And I don't have a problem with it. But I do like this pad, so I'm going to keep it. And I'm going to use it. Now, I am going to keep my Memento, just in case it makes me mad. And I decide not to use it very much. But when I have stamp camps, I'm going to I'm going to have the Memento pad or stamping events, because then people don't have to worry about the black, not drying. See, it doesn't leave an outline. So, yeah, it's a little stained. And maybe if I used, what do you say? A stamping cleaner, the Stampin' Mist. Maybe that might, make it go, come off more. I know that, and I've done this before, where I took a Versamark ink pad, which it's kind of dirty looking, okay? And I'll grab, let's see, a scrap piece of paper. And what I'll do is I'll go tap, 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 and I'll just stamp in my Versamark until it kind of runs clear. And that used to help with the ink pad from a long time ago. So, and then just swish it around Swish it around. But then you got sticky ink, you know? So, I mean, it is what it is. And squeak, 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 squeak. I mean, it helped a little bit, right? But then, you know, once it's dry and the Versamark is off there, now I have to clean it with the Versamark. But, I mean, it does help. I mean, it's there to give you different reasons. Now, let's see. But like I said, it doesn't bother me at all. And let's see here. Now, we're going to get going with the technique. And the technique is actually really cool. Like I said, I saw this on, let's see, her name is Heidi Collins, and I changed it up quite a bit. And okay, so I did not show the original card. And what I did is, this is a perfect card to get rid of scraps. And now, like I said, I cut these specifically so that I can use them. Oops. And now I'm kind of dry fitting, putting these in an order in which I like them to be. And then I know how they're going to look on my card. And you can do this with any designer series paper you want. And okay. See, I have extras, okay? So if I wanted, you know, more of a green and no flower whatsoever on there, I can do that. I can change that out. Okay. So, and I think she called this a zigzag card. And so I'm going to move these strips off because we're going to be doing it on here. All right. So now, the card, we're going to apply the first layer on flat. Okay. So we're going to need glue, and then we're going to use the adhesive foam strips. Now, you can use dimensionals, but it's going to be kind of a pain in the butt once you see the reason why. And so I'm going to do this card. I think I'm going to do it the same way I did my example. So we're going to do, I'm going to start out, even though this card is going to sit like this, I'm going to actually build it this way. And because I want to make sure that I put them on straight, so I'm going to take all my papers and I'm going to fly them and twist them around in order, okay? You can see them right over here. And then I'm going to add them with glue. So I'm going to grab my penguin. My penguin is from the Country Hive, and it's a glue holder. And I love it. So I'm going to take the lid off, and it doesn't leak glue at the bottom. And I'm going to take my silicone craft sheet. I'm going to put that underneath, just in case I do have any glue sticking out. Then it's not going to stick to my glass mat. So we're just going to put a little bit of glue here. And I'm going to put it close to the edge. And I'm going to put it back in my holder. Okay, so I'm going to take this one. Now remember, these are directional, and this is going to end up going this way. So I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to move it so it grabs it, and I'm going to make sure I am straight. All right, there we go. The next one, I'm going to make it a little bit longer. And then the next one, I'm just going to grab that glue and I'm going to make it go a little bit longer than this one, but not as short. And you can do this as, you don't have to do it in exact order as I'm doing it. And now we're just going to go like this. I'm going to put that piece a little bit bigger, and this one's going to go kind of lower. There we go. And it depends on your length. You can make them as, and I'm just grabbing the glue. That's the reason why I start out and then I push it, because I don't know how far I'm going out, and I don't want to put glue if it's actually going to be a little shorter. All right, so we're going to put this one right there, because the glue is as long as it is. All right, so far we're good. And like I said, this is the perfect card to use up scrap. And the length, all of them are 2 3/4 long. And there we go. And the width, I liked the width being a little different. Anywhere from 1/4 inch to 3/4 of an inch, you can decide, and which ones. Now I took my brightest color, which is the Berry Burst, and I made that the smallest one, just because I didn't want big, huge, glopping pieces, you know what I mean? Okay. And then that is going to go right there at the edge. Okay, so now it doesn't look anything special, does it? But it's really cool. Okay, so then now we're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut off this. Well, actually, maybe I should just use my little paper trimmer. Let's see if that'll work. Because I cut a little bit of the cardstock off. Oops. Well, we're going to shorten that anyways, so that's okay. And so then, now we have all our edges are right, okay? And then we're going to take this upside down and we're going to grab the foam adhesive strips. And this is one. And I have one going all the way like this. And we're going to cut that. Oops, that's stuck to my glass mat, studio. Ugh. There we go. And then we will lie this down. And then we'll grab another one. I'll just put that right, kind of butt up against it. Who would? Craft Mat Studio comes to the rescue. All right. So then, oops. Some of these are a little longer. So what I am going to do is I'm going to add just a little bit. Now the thing is that if you decide that you want to do dimensionals, you're going to have to take dimensionals backings off on every single one of these. And you may not want to do that. And then also, you don't want to mix dimensionals with these because these are actually a different height than the dimensionals. So just to give you a heads up on that, it's a little, these are a tad bit taller. Alrighty then. Oops, no. Don't do that. Okay, so I'm going to put that back on and stick this in my plastic bag. Now, inside here, you get 40 of these strips. So they are great for doing 3D projects and for shaker cards. Like, perfect. All right. Okay, so then we're going to take my paper snips and we're just going to use the edge of the cardstock as our cutting guide. Okay, now this is going to be our bottom of the card, and I am going to get out my take your pick tool, and we're going to release the backing. Of the strips. Okay. I wonder if I can stab those. No, they're just too sticky. I don't have fingernails, and so that's the reason why I love my paper. I call this my people poker because I am the people it pokes. Excuse me, I have a cough. All of a sudden I had a dry throat. Sorry about that. Allergy season is here. Spring has sprung. And those little white floaty things, that is when my allergies generally start to take a fit. And I saw one fly by today. I'm like, no! Okay. So we're going to line this up as best as we can. I'm going to turn this upside down so I could see it better. Like I said, I am going to chop this a little bit just in case I am not exactly straight. And also, see how that sits up? And, okay, so that, I'm going to go just give, now this is 4. I'm going to just do a little chop at the top and a little chop at the side. I think maybe this side. And so I'm just going to do a 1/4 inch off of everything, and then we'll have nice, flat, straight edges. because I want that to set and just pop right on out of that. And there's a little, I need to cut a little sliver off of that. So I can see that. There's a little bit of designer series paper there that's, I think it looks a little straighter. Somebody's going to win this card, so I want it to look good. Okay, so that is the technique or the wow part of the card. And so now we're going to attach that. And like I said, perfect card for using up scraps. Okay, and you can do this any color combination, designer series paper. You can, let's see, there we go. I want a nice border of the secret C all the way around because it makes it pop. I mean, at least I think it does. Okay, so we're going to do that. And so this, if you wanted the bottom part to be raised, you could certainly do that. And I'm going to put the lid on my glue. All right, let's get the Stampin' Cut Emboss machine going. And then we can start building our card. Okay. You know what? I changed my mind. I need to color my moths. And the reason why is because I thought I had another one. I thought it had, where's my big one? Where's my big moth? Did I? Nope, it's not under there. I know I stamped it, so where did it go? Is it right there? No. Did I throw it in the trash by accident? No. All right. I did 2 moths and a big one. All right, so I guess we're going to do another big one. Let's see. Get out this guy and the new black pen. Okay, and the silicone, or sorry, the Stampin' Pearson mat. That gives you a good image. I should say a better image. Tap, tap, tap. There we go. See, that's what it looked like. So I don't know why I couldn't find. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I want to color these in first and then die cut them. So it's easier to do that. Okay. So I'm going to clean off the black because it likes to stain. And then remove Bert from my chair. It's like, no, don't move me. Because when I color, I like to sit down. Just because it helps me to see it better. And here are the colors that we're using. I'm going to sit down for a few seconds and then, so I decided to use Golden Glow, Peaceful Pine, Berry Burst, and Soft Seafoam. And so I always do this before I color. So what I do is I do left is the light. These are the light. Oops. So left is the light and these are the brights. And then I always do nib tip at the top, brush at the bottom. And then that tells me what colors are darker than others. Because like Golden Glow, the dark, actually both of them, the nib tip and the brush happen to be darker than the light, obviously. Now, these two actually look a lot alike to me, but the brush is almost, this is the light, almost as dark as the nib tip on the dark. And then the dark brush is darker, and to me, the nib tip is darker than the dark. So that's why I always got 4 different colors. Some of them happen to be very close. So I always swatch it, and then that way I can say, oh, I like this color better for what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to sit down, make sure Bert did not get back up there. All right, and I just want to make sure I'm in camera for all of this. All right, okay, right there. Okay, we are going to do dark, soft sea foam, and I'm going to use the brush because that's the darkest. And so I'm going to do this one first. And I find with this black, I don't want to swirl a lot right now. Because, oops, I'm going to do this one as well. I'm more like just laying on the color rather than, because it's people are saying that it needs time to dry. And so if I just tap on the color right now, because it's so small, then I'm fine with that. Then I am going to use the light Berry Burst, and I'm just gonna do the outside edge. Okay. And then we're going to do, and you want to make sure you have that snap on there. And then we're going to do the light Golden Glow. And I'm just tapping it because there's really not a lot of line. Snap. Okay, then this guy, I am going to do the light Golden Glow, and let's see, we're going to do the nib tip. I'm just tapping the color on. Again, there's not a lot of place to do the shading or the blending. And let's see, Peaceful Pine. We're going to do the light nib tip. And I'm just going to tap it right next to the edge, because I don't want it to color accidentally over the line because it's so small. And the blends will blend. And that helps with the ink not smearing. Now, another demonstrator said that the Whisper White, or White Willow, that's what it used to be, White Willow, that works well with the black and the blends. She said that she did not have a lot of the smearing, and so she finds that the White Willow works really good. All right, so this is Light Berry Burst, and I'm going to use the nib tip. And I am going over the Peaceful Pine. And that turned out kind of cool for me. I did a lot of practice, you know, with scrap paper. I mean, for me, I'm standing back up now. This is my white scraps. And so I had a lot of little white pieces, like little squares, that I could, you know, stamp. And I just stamped a whole bunch, and then I, you know, was practicing colors and seeing how I wanted to color my moths. These are not butterflies, they're moths. Okay, gosh darn it. There we go. And then I wrote down, you know, what I used, so that when I came back and did it for you, then I knew which colors I used. All right, so we're going to take these and we're going to die cut these. And so that is, we're done coloring. All right, so now we can grab the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and okay, so we're going to grab those dies. Off my magnet sheet, and there we go. And this was my first pick on my pre-order, this Fern and Moonlit Flora, because I used to have gardens, and I like nature. I like to go out for hikes. I'm not crazy. I've never, you know, gone somewhere in a different state just to go hiking. I've never done that. Excuse me. Okay, and let's see here. And this is actually the second time that I've used this product, making this card. My first one was doing the in-person event using this suite of product. I like the fact that this cuts out the shape that it stamps, so I think it's pretty cool. All right, and just gonna tape that on, and we'll grab our top plate and we'll roll that through. Okay. And I'm right-handed, so I always bring it back to this side. So didn't that turn out pretty cool? All right, we're going to stamp on that now that it turned out. And I'm going to put my die back, whoops, on the magnetic plate. And the flutterby. Moth. It's a moth. Ugh. There we go. That cut that out nicely. Once I get done with the die, I always put it back on the magnet sheet, because otherwise, not a lot of the times I do put my stuff away before I go to bed. But tonight I started a little late because my computer was misbehaving, and I was trying to print off the stuff about becoming a demonstrator and earning the free new in-color ink pads. I mean, the new magnet ones. I mean, you get all 5 of them when you join up to be a demonstrator, and starting May 5th. And I just thought that was so cool. Now, there's a couple things in there you need to poke out. And so I'm going to grab my die brush. Here, let me just move this aside. I'm just going to roll that so it's easier to carry over to my standing die cutting station. A lot of times when I prep for the events that we do, I like to stand, because when I'm doing a lot of the cutting, I'm sitting. So when I do my Facebook Lives, I always stand. And Barb, welcome. You're going to have to, that's okay. You're going to have to go back and watch the replay to see the technique. I think it's a technique, right? We're not done putting the card together, but you'll want to go back and watch the replay to see how it was done. All right, so this is going to get Winkastella-ized, like the whole thing. So we're just going to take my brush and just lay it down, and I'm going to paint that little puppy, the whole thing. Oh, thank you. I saw that. All right. I like it when you do hearts. That's very nice. Okay. That means what I'm doing is of use. All right. So there is our banner. And did you get this Moonlit Flora suite? Oh my gosh, Barb, if you don't have it, you need to get it. Okay, so then the outside of the card is going to say, "You're an amazing friend." And just tap, tap. And got some ink on the corner. No doing that. Okay, so just tap, tap, tap. And I'm going to move this over kind of to the, I'm going to move this towards me so I could see straight, kind of. I'm going to move it over. Good. I'm moving it over that way to the left a little bit, just because we're going to be adding this and I don't want to cover up the words. Okay, so I think I'm going to do the Winkostella on this while it's sitting here. I'm just going to kind of not do the whole thing, but I'm just going to kind of do where the veins are. But if I get the whole leaf, then I do. If I don't, I don't. So it's kind of like a hit and miss type of thing. So it's done that way on purpose. All right. So then now I'm going to get my other craft mat. And I have glue written on here, so I grabbed the right one because I like to do my silicone brush along with my glue. And I just put a little bit on here and lay this upside down, and I'm going to hold it by the stem and grab Sherry, welcome. Okay, you're going to have to go back and watch the replay so that you could see the cool stuff that was done to make this card. We're close to being done, but you're going to want to see how it was put together. We're not done putting it together, but you get my drift. All right, so that is going to go right there. And I'll just lay that down, flip this upside down and give that a nice burnish. Okay, so that is going to go on the inside. And our little moths, we're going to actually put glue on that. Yeah, do you have one of these? This is a pastry brush from my friend Carolyn gave it to me. It's a little bit longer and she snipped it off. And the glue just dries and I just, peel it off once I'm done. And it works so nicely. All right, so then I don't have any more, so we're going to grab some glue. Just a little tiny bit because it's going to be hanging off the edge. And so I'm going to just dab right there and dab right there. Well, I don't think I got it. We'll grab that again. And it just makes like little tiny glue dots. All right. And that is going to go along here. Like that. I'm going to flip that upside down. And then you can use, I'm just going to let this sit. And then I'm going to use a baby wipe to clean it off. And then you just kind of rub it with your fingers if you want and just get rid of, the glue excess. But then I clean it off with a baby wipe. All right, so I'm going to tap that down, make sure, and I'm going to grab the large dimensionals with my take your pick tool. Okay, so then let's take the inside of our card and add that to our card front. We'll just get rid of that. Get rid of the dimensionals. Okay, so I did see this on Heidi Collins, but I took it to the next level. I never copy exactly somebody's card. I case it, and that's copy and selectively edit. And usually selective editing for me means adding more. All right, so that is the inside. So you could see the large fern on the inside of that card. And so that is, now this is the technique that I was talking about. So you're going to want to go back and watch how this was done. And so we're going to take the dimensionals off, and we're going to put that right there. I want this hanging off, so I'm going to move it down just a little bit. I want that fern little stem to kind of hang over onto the secret sea. Thank you very much. She showed a technique using the dreams, the delicate dreams. And then she showed, what she did one with, she had a completed card with this. And I'm like, I am copying that. But I had different colors in mine. I used soft sea foam for this, and I added the fern. These are on the foam adhesive strips because you don't really want to do dimensionals on every single one of these. So there's two lines, and then a couple that are a little bit longer. And so again, you're going to want to go back and see that because it's a really cool way to use strips. And let's see. I think I'm going to use the small ones, the small dimensionals, the mini dimensionals, because they fit better. And I don't know what she had done with the inside of her card, but, I just went with it. Now, we're going to stab and grab those backings. And then the big moth is going to hang out right there. And even though this is on foam adhesive strips, we're going to put this on a dimensional, and we're going to put that right there. Okay. And then we're going to grab that Winkostella. Oops, I forgot I need to clean off the greeting of the berry burst. That was for the inside because it stains. And the longer it sits, the prettier it will be. Okay. The photopolymer. Okay, so I'm going to be using the Winkostella. So I am going to come in here and kind of dab off the color. So this here is a blend of Peaceful Pine and Berry Burst blends. And then we'll go in and do the inside guy. Okay, so that's the inside of the card. And one last thing. I'm going to use these dewdrop embellishments. And there's Clear, Old Olive, and Secret Sea. And I am using the Old Olive. And I'm going to put it right on there. And then a little one right kind of where that corner is. And then kind of where this has a bend and right there. So I created a triangle with that. And you know what? I didn't put it there. Let's see if I can move it. Sometimes you can move things. Oops, the sticky did not go with it. And sometimes you can't. And when you are a determined person, just like me, I put it right there. I put it next to the other non-butterfly, the moth. And then we're going to stick that little puppy right back on it. There we go. I like that better. Now we created a triangle with that. And this looks like it's a lot, but it's really not. It's super fun to do, and you can do these in whatever size you want. And, you know, I gave pretty simple instructions when and I gave all the dimensions and I wrote them down so that way you could, pause it, get them ready, make your own. And then that is the inside of the card. So that is using Moonlit Flora Sweet Collection, and that starts on May 5th. So now if you would like to get a chance to win this card and have it come directly to your post office box or your house, wherever, do a thumbs up or a heart. That gets you entered into the drawing. If you leave a comment, that will get you into the drawing. Now, if you watch the replay and comment, that also gets you, and do the thumbs up and the heart. That will get you entered. So it doesn't have to be while it's a live video. And then if you share this on your timeline, number one, you might have a paper crafter who hasn't touched their stuff in a long time. Maybe seeing this card might inspire them to, thank you, to bring out their stamp stuff and make somebody a card and send it. Then they can get a chance to like and share. Now, it has to be within the 30 days that they have to be able to do the like and the share, just so that they can get entered into the drawing. Now, if you have won a card from me in the past, I have your address. And if you're new to me and I don't have your address, I will send you a message saying, hey, thank you very much for watching Facebook Live number 484. You won the card from that presentation. Send me your address and I'll mail you the card. Now, when you do that, I do not spam you with a whole bunch of stuff. If you like to receive any notifications from me, through, like if you place orders with me, you want to make sure that you opt in to receive the catalogs from me. Now that's already been sent out. But if you're not working with another demonstrator, I'd be happy to mail you a card, or a catalog. However, if you've placed an order with me from, say, January 2025, and between that and March of this year, you should have your catalog sent to you. Now, once you place an order again this year, if you are new to my page, then you'll get on the next one that gets sent out for the September edition. But you need to make sure that you opt in, okay, on when you create your profile. Because if you don't opt in, that means I can't send you that catalog. Now, if you would love a catalog, Kimberly? Okay, because I knew that you joined my page through Judy and you weren't able to place orders and get on my mailing, so I'll have to mail you one. So let me write that down. And then, let's see, and I have your address. I'm writing it on a Post-it note. Now, if you wish to place an order before this catalog comes, you can always go into the online store, and there's an online catalog there once the catalog goes live, just in case you need something May 5th. But I'll get that out to you. Let's see. If you live in the Twin Cities and you want to be added to my email list for Stampin' Up, flash sales, Stamp Camp invites, go ahead and send me an email, and I would be happy to send you an invite once I have your email address. Okay, guys, it is Thursday evening. It's time for me to go to bed. Actually, I need to eat something before I go to bed. And I will be back on Sunday after 5 o'clock. I do my Facebook Lives on Thursdays after 5 and on Sundays after 5. So take care, guys. Have a great weekend.